connector area on the CT side. So even though they've got the man advantage, it's still going to be a difficult task to convert the rounds. And Wings Up, they're really taking their time, Jay. They're running this clock down low. They're waiting for aggression. And you've got to think when this bomb gets picked up, they've really got to lean into towards the B bomb side. They don't really have too much information out towards A. Getting closer to 20 seconds. They've got to get a move on. They've got to make a decision, and it looks like it's going to be over to B.
Well, the split in potential here with the connected control, but again, they're going to have to open up that double door, that squeaky door. So Gas making his way in, flash over towards Monster. Hasteka is waiting to deny the bomb plant. The Eagle up, Child King is going to go down. The second shot now. Bomb plant just going to be received and denied. Time wasted for Wings Up, and that wastes away the round for them. 3 on the board now for D13.
And because they took so long, Jay, it meant that they couldn't clear out the site. Like, the bomb just got to the default position in time to just get it down. Otherwise, they'd run out of time. So you've got to think for Wings Up, if they picked up that bomb, you know, 10, 15 seconds earlier, they had a chance to maybe swing out from short water, sort of clear the bomb site out, be able to get it down, feel a little bit more comfortable. And what a victory from D13. We saw in the Oceania scene of the closed qualifier, Jay, a lot of the Forced by Eco's victories. It seems like it's a very similar trait going into the Asian scene now as well.
Well, it will still work out well for the CT side, so at the very least they have that much. Going to be positive signs for their first map, obviously. The AK's in on 3 players as well, so a lot of impact being gained by that Eco pistol. And the buyback from Wings Up, not quite looking as confident here in round 6. 3 rifles, 2 AKs, and 2 Deagles to back it up. Burst through of score does catch Martin for 1 and 2, feeding them these 1v1s, but at least the Deagle does find a trade.
And I'll tell you what, difficult position there towards Rock to be able to try and do as much damage as possible. I mean, he's got really 2 angles that he needs to focus in on, and he still gets away with a couple of kills. So a really great hold there coming out from score. And Wings Up in this force bite. Going back over to the B bomb site lean again. Look how low they're running down the clock, Jay. And they've got hardly any utility. This is going to be another tough time, especially now Monster's been re-smoked from the CT side.
AK from Hasteka, back over at the T-Ramp, gets back to the pillar as well, realizing that the site defensive may matter a little bit more with how low the timer really is. Again, Wings Up, running this clock extremely low, setting themselves up for potential. The spray through of Hasteka does not do the wall bang damage, trying to go for a bit of a weird sort of spray, but in the end it's Shinobi getting those deck 2 kills up, spraying through the smoke. Land's going to go falling, and the defuse will be stuck here by D13. Wings Up so pressured and so scrappy on their hits. It's costing them a number of T-side rounds here.
And look, the one thing that it obviously comes into account into a best of 5, right? You know, when you're in a best of 3 and maybe if you win your opposition's map pick, you still feel like there's a chance to sort of come back if you're a map down. When you're in a best of 5, it makes it very difficult, especially when you're in a weighted best of 5. The mental game is so much more prevalent. You've got to think for D13, right? They've come into it, they've got the opening map advantage, they're going into Overpass, which is Wings Up map pick. If D13 can get off to a good start on this CT side, set themselves up for potentially a map victory here on Overpass, they'll make their campaign just so much easier to convert this best of 5, and that's when the mental game starts to play through.
Taps up with the P250s, and it's Martin to open things up, score to 4. Annihilation will find a trade back. And Shinobi there against him will deal with Martin next to face. DD with the AK, trying to see if we can find something out here. We'll be able to get a kill back on Shinobi at least, so that's a 3-on-3 scenario. Wings Up pistols are trading effectively, but nothing else is being seen. They opt to back off to the mid control. DD13 have rotated back to the A site stack here.
D13, I wonder when they're going to get a bit of a read on the situation that it's actually going to be a play back into connector. I mean, in saying that, they're already going to start to rotate a player in. Wings Up, now that information's coming through. Molotov can come out towards a short position. They can start to bring the rotations over, and that's just going to waste so much more time.
Bomb moving up, AKF Hasteka sat back behind the toxic barrels, ready to receive. Sees one, sprays through, takes his head off his shoulder up against DD. Next, but DD gets the trade together, and Wings Up are doing a really good job about this. Orb in, oh, Annihilation unscopes at the worst possible moment. And Child King and DD are allowed to stay alive in this 2v2. They've seen Annihilation shoulder baiting. Deagle up, Annihilation gets the orb shot, now knows exactly where DD is. But DD repositions, finds a good spray, but it's not good enough. Take 9 out the tap and finish off the job. 4 kills for DD, stepping up for Wings Up.
Oh, DD coming out when it counts. And look, I'll tell you what, Jay, that force buy actually turned out really nicely for Wings Up. It looked like they were in a pretty uncomfortable position. They were able to sort of make their way into the A bomb site, or at least show the presence up towards that banana and bathrooms area. The 3-on-3, they realize, okay, we'll go back down through connector. The short water gets mollied, so they have to force their attack in through monster. And Annihilation had some very, very awkward timings from that heaven position. You can say it's a little bit unlucky, but Wings Up capitalized on that, and DD gets a 4K.
Massive round from him. Absolutely massive round from him. Got to give credit to him basically for winning the whole thing for his team. Like for Wings Up, they shouldn't have been a round that they had at all. Basic pistols in play, but AK recovered, and so much impact found by one man. And the AKs are back in for this 8th rifle round here. D13 do have themselves a bit of a force up. And the AUG getting dealt with first by Gas into short water, and scores not know it. Wakes his way through connector, opens the squeak door and gets dealt with effective immediately. 5-on-4 scenario gained by Wings Up, and very little damage done across the T-side board.
And I tell you what, D13 on this city side, Jay, have been really passive. We haven't really seen many aggressive players coming out. They're not taking a lot of map control away from the T side. Gas, oh, I thought he was going to be able to follow up with his secondary kill, but it's actually a trade back, and now an AK picked up, and it's still a gamble stack to this A bomb site.
Smokes didn't extinguish the flames, so Stekker's going to try and find a slight angle to work with, gets forced away by the blind spray. The bomb plant can be secured here. Lan and DD still spraying on Stekker's position. Murata comes in with a backstab in towards the connector area. 4v4, DD held to the corner, and Azteca has himself a back turn towards him. They know exactly where DD's at. He's still pushing forward. Annihilation lands that AWP pick, and now Lan and Martin left alone. Now just Lan standing in the backstab with a counter the backstab here for Tabirita. Onto the bomb, tapping it up. He's low HPs. This could be an easy stack of the bomb. 1 frag, 2 frags found by Lan, but Annihilation going to get there with no kit to the defuse, actually. This will be a very, very down to the wire here. I think he's just going to have it.
Yeah, he's got it.
Skin of his teeth stuff, though. That did get a little bit close.
It got down to the wire, didn't it? But look, for D13, it's a really nice retake there. And what I love, too, is that they actually realized in a man disadvantage scenario, a lot of the time, when you're down, especially on CT side of Overpass, if you're in like a 4-on-5 situation, you've lost the opening kill in the early round, you want to try and aggress and see if you can sort of get some information, see if you can get a trade back to sort of give yourselves more advantages into the later round. The push comes forward towards the short water. They turn it into a 4 versus 4. There's still 3 players to that A bomb side. Wings Up are running into the stack. Both teams really putting some big emphasis on trying to reset each other's economy. Wings Up are going to be forcing into round 9, but again, it's going to be rifles backed up with pistols.
Another force-up scenario here for Wings Up. They were able to make this work relatively well against D13, but I worry about their real stance of things here. The Eagles in the M4 pushes forward, score. Gets that first kill on Child King. Quickly deals with the opening frag here on the CT side. Wings Up lose one of those pistols. It's only a pistol loss though, so it's not a massive loss there for the T-side camp. Look at the Molotovs coming in towards the toxic barrels. The smoke's up ahead of the toxic barrels, therefore no extinguish on the Molotov. Tamarita with 3 kills on the M4. Sequence lines up the 2 headshots. Spray transfers to the 3rd, and Azteca there with the last frag of Lan at the edge of the smoke over on the left-hand side. 6-3 now for D13.
All right, Tamir, that was a really nice spray control to transfer his way to get 3 kills. And I'll tell you what, look, in the very limited experience I have with watching D13, it's normally been Score and Annihilation, the 2 players that sort of stand out for me the most. We've seen Annihilation with that AWP playing over towards the A bomb site, finding a hell of a lot of impact. But that last round, it was the in-game leader of Tamir that was able to show up.
Again, 3 kills to his name, but the sequence was given up by 1v1s to the Wings Up side.
Oh,
they can't afford any more force buys, as you mentioned. Their first couple of kills from Score coming in effectively. Oh, the USB headshot as well. And the eco, no casualties sustained by D13. Cleaned up there by the CT forces. What a hold held.
And I'll tell you what too, when you think of like the Mongolian scene, when you go back a few years as well, there's not really any players on this lineup that sort of stand out that had some big prevalence, at least in terms of veterancy. You know, you've got your Dobul and not Dobo, is it Dobul and Cabal and like Machine Gun, you know, players like that had a bit of international experience and, you know, had the opportunity on playing in LANs and, you know, your pro leagues and some of your big European and North American events. Yeah, you've got a couple of players that have played on the Mongols over the last couple of years, but there's not really anyone on this lineup that I sort of look to as being a big veteran. So it's kind of great to see some of the younger talent coming through the ranks, Jay.
Well, for the moment, things are looking particularly good for D13. The push up here towards the top of underpass scores, made his way all the way out to T-Con, does not have eyes on the bomb. If he makes his way back towards the T-spawn entrance, he's going to be able to see that. He may even catch land if the timing is correct. He's pushing out very far aggressive. I'm feeling the T-side players are reading this, actually. Yeah, they've got their crosshairs trained to that back line. Oh, Score scene 1 into the mid-control for Child King. He's going to make his way around. M4 up. Child King's not going to be seen. He's going to wait and bait for it. Sees his man. He's still waiting for more T-side presence, though. He's going to spray and take that contactor down. So now it's all after the 3 players making their way out of Monster here for Wings Up. D13 have got not much information about this. They took out all their mid-control, but now Sesteka looks for players coming into the back lines. It should be red here that the T's are going to go towards B.
Yeah, rotations can start to come through, and again, very limited on the time for Wings Up. They need to try and get the bomb down. Everyone's trying to spray through. The bomb does end up going down, but so does Land. Swing coming out, dual peeking, and now Gas is the last one left. 1 versus 5 to try and hold on to the post line of the B. Bomb side, they're not peeking in one by one. They're making sure they're peeking together, and D13 are coming off with a fiery start on this CT side. 8-3, Jay, on their opposition's map pick to start off this best of 5. This is looking pretty threatening.
Yeah, Wings Up are taking a tactical timeout, and rightfully so. You mentioned, obviously, this is a best of 5 grand finals with D13 being up by a map advantage from coming in from the upper bracket. So with them being in this position, you know, they already have an advantage. This being 8-3 on their opposition's map pick, overpasses the first map picked by Wings Up. That's a not the best of scenarios to be at right now for the Chinese squad. They are going to have to turn things around very, very quickly here. A tactical coming out, the first one of the game being called at this stage. But where do Wings Up go from here? Like, I don't know where what they try for here, Dweg. Like, they've just sort of just been ripped apart by the sheer firepower basis of D13. And there are a few things you can do to try and get those trades together, but I just feel like in general that the A potential is just right there for the CT side.
Yeah, and you know what? Maybe I'd like to see something quicker for Wings Up. When you sort of think about like Asian CS in particular, you think of like the really fire-powered, up close and personal, really quick trading and execution basis where it's just raw aim a lot of the time. And for Wings Up, it's been really slow default. So it's been a very different style of play to what we typically see. And even look at this from Shinobi. He's been able to push through the monster smoke and see nothing, so they can go, right, well, let's just rotate everyone towards A and we can have 4 players there.
Orp standing by here with 2 rifles into the mid-control, DD being seen. So he's got a bit of a lack of reaction timing. The AK will be able to get the kill on the second player. Samir turns around against Child King. Lang gets 1 frag before he's traded, so Pistol's going to get cleaned up here on this weird half-by-force play. They went for the hero AK force up on DD's part of things, but everybody else around that 2K marker, so should be able to get rifles back in for the next round. Leave those AKs to stay in for D13. That's the main important thing here. 3 AKs for the CT side are really going to limit the potential of Wings Up because those head Kevlars can be taken out so easily. They will get 5 AKs out for it, but you can see where the utility will be lacking here on the T side.
And you've got to think too, I mean, even the heavy investment from DD in that last round means that he's only going to be on Body Kevlar and an AK, but the heavy investment, it didn't really pay off in the sense that they didn't really find a lot of impact. The money line on this CT side is so strong that even if Wings Up get like 1 or 2 rounds in a row that's really strong, we're still going to see D13 having money to follow because there's only a few rounds left in this first half. Annihilation getting heavily pressured in the bathroom's control, has to force back immediately, and look at this beast stack coming out from D13. They've got short water control with ease.
Yeah, I mean, they're pushed up so far as connector. A little bit of resistance coming out from DD will force them away from that very aggressive position, but they're still going to hold the short water entrance. You can see Tamir is out here with a smoke set in, going to try and force gas away. Smoke up. Nades down. That does a lot of damage to Child King. That's beautifully placed there by Annihilation. And, well, the CT side, like, they're just playing their own style of game. They're playing at their own pace, and Wings Up are struggling to compete against it, trying to control the pace of their own right. No kills early on, but Wings Up are still on the back foot.
And that's one of the big things I think they've struggled with the most on this T-side defaults is, yeah, they're getting the map control, and yeah, you could say they're baiting out utility for the city side, but they're not finding the kills. They're not finding the trades, and that's really what you want to try and achieve when it comes to a default round. Heska is going to at least try and get aggressive to look into Monster. Now, they got the information, but Wings Up found the opening kill.
Tamir's going to fall down towards the mid position. DD with that frag. 5 on 3, and it looks like Wings Up are finally going to be able to dominate a bomb site. Where do D13 play from this? Do they give up the frags? Do they try and go for the retake here in a 5 on 3 scenario? Where do they play for? Score at the end with the M4 spray up. There's Martin with the pick. Shinobi comes up with 1 frag, doubles up here against Gasper. Martin finds that trade, so Annihilation is left alone. The AWP in a 1 on 3 here towards Graffiti. Holding on to his weapon, going to try and see if he can escape. He knows there's a player that up there in the heaven position, so waiting back here in this corner and defending from this position is his best bet of survival. So 4th for Wings Up. Has looked very, very awkward for them so far in this game, but the fact that they're able to get this round out is at least going to be a positive element for the T side.
I'm sorry, Jay, I'm going to put my critical helmet on them at the moment. Why is Annihilation not going for that? Like, they've got so much money that they're going to be able to buy into round 14 and round 15 with no problem whatsoever. If he gets 1 more kill, that means 3 players are going to go down, and it makes it so much easier to destroy the economy because then you don't have sort of the even amount where 2 players can drop over. I think that's just poor decision-making there coming out from D13. I don't know if it's just like stat hunting where it doesn't want to get a def, doesn't want to give up an AWP. I'm not sure what the call is, but they know how strong their economy is.
No, I mean, personally, I do see why you wouldn't want to give it the AWP to the Wings Up side because they haven't like been able to get an AWP out to the T side, so I kind of understand where Annihilation's coming from. Maybe if you could find an automatic weapon, I'd give him a bit more credit to go for the retake, but I also see where they don't want to give up the free AWP. Staying in for the D13 side, maybe more important to take rifles away from Wings Up as opposed to just, you know, their own economy state being pretty well built up. I mean, they're still going to have a buy up in the next round regardless, so yeah, I see your angle in that one, but I also see the opposing side of the coin. Aggression here from Wings Up coming in towards the short water control. Gas could get spotted by Shinobi if the boost is successful. Tamir's watching and the M4 has his head ducked low. No contact established. If Gas makes any noise, you can tell that they're just going to get up here and they're just going to be able to take that frag.
Silent. Or at least trying to go for the silent drop. It wasn't quite silent for the CTs. Annihilation. He's going to have 2 players to deal with here. Do they line up? They do, Jay! He gets a couple of kills! Oh, Wings Up. Just peek at the same angle together. And D13 find a great opening couple of kills to get the opening man advantage. A trade finally comes back, but Wings Up. Oh, that's hard to watch.
Well, that's a peek worthy of a clip for Blair on Twitter, because I don't know what they were thinking of peeking out of the bathrooms, lining up for an AWP. DD gets a AK headshot back in on haste cut. A 3 on 3 up for this position. Score around the corner, looks for 1. Gas gets that kill with the AK though, aggressing out from short, and again, they're not even ready for that. 3-on-2 situation. AK of Gas is pushed up here against Tamir. M4 gets a trade back to a 2-on-2 scenario and wings up. They've got the AWP breaking its way towards the site with the bomb on his back here. Molotov in from Tamir should force him away after the plant goes down. DD tagged up heavily, still gets that kill in. Tamir gets a trade back, looks for the second, and makes it a 3K overall. And that will be a 10th for D13.
All right, another retake coming through, another clutch being sort of coming through, and I think that's one of the big things as well, that in this first half, even though D13 have looked pretty comfortable, they've certainly been the stronger team, we have seen the clutches coming out and Wings Up just not closing them out when needed. 10-4, double digits up on this CT side, and you've just got to think for D13, you know, make it one more, get to 11. You put so much pressure on that second half for Wings Up to sort of get out of this massive, massive hole and try and recover themselves. Because honestly, for Wings Up, this has just been a struggle after a struggle, round after round on Overpass so far.
Orbs in AKs, Martin dealt with first score, opening up the kill counts for D13. Nades on, damage done, Orbs goes in for Ian, dealt with by Tamir, jumping through the smoke. What is that? Gas force forward to the AK, looking for Haska next up, gets that one kill but burns alive, and Annihilation cleans up Chalking, leaving it all to DD. 1v3. Nade on, doesn't quite take him down with 12 HP. He's a goner at this stage, Dweg.
Yeah, he absolutely is. 11-4, D13 cleaning up the pieces. Second half, we'll be back just after this quick break.
Don't look down, never fade out. And I just wanna be someone and never fall behind again. Just keep on moving on. Never look down, never fade out. Never fade out.
Part-time jobs, chasing all my dreams now lately. No matter if I try too hard, nothing's ever enough, baby. No, I don't care too much. I don't care too much. As long as I can keep you by my side, I don't care too much. We got time, no rush. In your eyes, I always see.
Well, it was a dominating half for D13 to start things off on the CT side of Overpass. Looking into the second half is where things are going to get real dire for Wings Up. They took one tactical in that first up. Theodore's a second. Let's see whether they can try and turn the situation around. They need to win this map. Their map pick in this opening, this opening map pick in this best of 5 series, I should say. And already look at the aggression from the CT side. Lan needs to get some kills back, falls away. Doesn't take any damage, doesn't do anything back towards the D13 side. They've established that short water control. Backstabs aren't inbound. Look at DD coming forward. Lan and Shinobi getting those first couple of hits. Martin seeing it was a toxic barrel score. Gets that one frag. Traded back by Child King, but gas will fall. And here towards water, Child King's going to get overwhelmed. Bomb plant for Tamir. DD in a 1 versus 3. Coming in from that back lines. Takes out that first headshot. Needs 2 more to make this retake happen, but dealt with by Tamir. D13 with an all-important and confident pistol round.
And the one thing we know in Counter-Strike, right, is you can make the right call, you can have the right setup, and you can still lose the round. Wings Up actually played that really well. They had Lan getting aggressive in short water, they got the information, he was actually able to get out of there, get back into the side without going down. They've got DD wrapping in, they've got all the information, we know they've got short water control. It's going to be a B side Xe, let's bring the rotations in, they've got a 3-man stack of B, and D13 still overwhelmed the bomb site. The Glocks get some really great entry kills, the trades are even better. And Wings Up aren't going to be forcing going into round 17, so they will be able to get the rifles into the next round. And P250 and Deagle upgrade, that's it for the CT side.
Yeah, basic pistols in on the Deagles and the P250s. Galil out for Tamir. Faces forward, sees contact, does not take a frag. Annihilation moves further forward. Lan, Child King, Gas dealt with easy frags across the board. Martin, USP looking for Shinobi, trying to catch off the AK and score. Deals with him. D left on the 1 versus 5. Decent damage on the HP numbers, but definitely not going to be enough to get any kills on the board. Rifles should come out for the CT side. If they can't win this next round, though, I have a feeling map 1's going to go the way of D13. Pretty easy here.
Yeah, look, and sometimes it just comes down to the on-the-day performance, and in all honesty, I haven't really been too impressed from Wings Up. I think in a lot of the sort of straight-up one-on-one aim duels, D13 have just come out on top in so many rounds. Wings Up are really on the back foot of their own map pick, and you would have thought that Overpass they would have just been so much more comfortable on, but it just doesn't look like that's the case at all.
Oh, good shot here for Lan to open things up on a haste cut. A nice opener for the CT side at least, but the confidence, as you mentioned, is yet to really shine here for the CT side. Got to work into this here. The AK boost up a score, looks on towards the side, does not see anything. Giving up the information here to try and look for someone above the boost spot area, but again, just nothing being seen by the C side. So a minute to go. Wings Up being passive at the moment. D13 can establish map control, go for the hit.
Such a lack of utility coming out for Wings Up. They've got 1 smoke left, and that's it. A single kid onto Child King. Glass Cannon AWP2 for Lan. And long control. Looks like Gas wants to try and overextend, get very aggressive, have that dual setup coming in from Lan, backing up him with the AWP. But D13, they've got options, Jay. They've opened up short water again, so they can go back into the B bomb site from Connector. But there are 3 CTs here at B.
Shinobi with that kill on DD. Burst back of Martin deals with Shinobi. Next 4-on-3 situation. All the utility pouring out of the late gate here for D13. And Child King ready with a spray on the first. M4 back in for the next Tamir. And Child King trading back and forth. Overall in favour to the Wings Up side. As Gas closes out that last frag. And they do find themselves a good defensive this time. CT side maybe back in the game here as D13 crumble around the hit.
Yeah, it's got to be 1 round at a time. Much better there from Wings Up. And having 3 players over to that B bomb site, and even without the utility, the crossfires set were fantastic. We saw so many times there from D13 on the entrance out from the short control, is that they weren't sure, do they want to check the water position or check out towards Graffiti, because that's where the crossfire was being set from the CTs. And D13 are still going to be able to get a rifle round through. Child King going very aggressive to maybe stop any kind of anti-rush out from Monster, but D13 are now taking their control to short again, so very fast map control out for the T side.
Straight up and over D13, a much more aggressive style of play in this next round. Burst through from Child King goes awry. Hastka getting that frag back. Emperor Martin rounds up, does damage towards another good player by getting the kill on Annihilation. Shinobi trades, DD trades it right back. 3 on 3. He's heavily tagged, takes it against Hastka and gets him taking it down as well. Lan comes up with a kill with the AWP. The score left alone in the 1 versus 3. All 3 players approaching from the same angle. Good shot on the first. Facing against the second does not go quite as right. And Gas closes out the round for Wings up a 6th back to the CT board.
And I tell you what, monster defense coming out from Diddy. You saw in that kind of position, he had options. He, well, really had 2 options. He could have continued trying to fight and get aggressive and see if he can find a man advantage and allow, once his teammates come in from the rotations, that it will be a little bit easier, or he can just give them up the site and play passive and try and fall back to Graffiti. He took the more aggressive approach. He stayed around the short water control, or the water control, I should say, on the site itself, looking to try and do some more damage, brings those rotations in with the man advantage. And D13, they get away with a bomb plant, Jay, but they don't get away with the round. 2 in a row now for Wings up. And finally, D13 are going to be on an eco.
Eagles in. AKs to respond to it. Gas gets that first frag on Hastka. Flashing from the CT side. Let's catch him blind, though. Shinobi gets 1 good pick back, but Tamir dealt with. Gas on 1 point of health. Got to be very careful where he faces next. Very aggressive, and now leave score to deal with him. But Lang gets a trade back, so scored alone with the AK picked up from his dead opponent. Bomb has been dropped out towards the fountain area, but at this stage, D13 are just looking for damage and maybe even a bomb plant bonus. This is an eco round, so the take running away from Wings up will be already a positive. I mean, 2 players being dropped is going to limit their buy state. So right now, like D13 have had quite a lot of progress here in round 20.
If they could find 1 more, then they would certainly look pretty decent. I mean, honestly, there's even an opportunity here for a score to just hold on to this AK. Got armor, bit of utility. Bring that into the next round with the full buy investment. Maybe see if he can do a little bit more damage. Wings up have got the info at B. I mean, they've pressed Child King so aggressively out through Monster that they can just play passive on A. Now, the one scary element is if they do play passive on AJ, it can allow the opportunity for at least a post plant.
Go to default. Here's the scope in. Oh, he's going to try to get the kill on land. This is risky. He baits in the shot. Gets the kill. And a smoke down to cover off the cross position. M4 will see him at the edge of it, though. And that bomb plant can be denied. At the very least, they get that damage in, though. 3 rifles to drop from the CT side. Reinvestments will come through. And the buyback should also be good here from the T side the same.
And very decent eco. 3 kills. I mean, a bomb plant certainly would have been fantastic, but rather than going in for the standard plant, wanted to try and overextends, puts that smoke down, and Martin is able to trade out in the end. There's 7 on the board now for Wings up. A rough round to come in for D13. Not quite enough money on this T side to go for an AWP for Annihilation, so it will just be the AKs again. The early monster control coming out for the CT side. Dual play into Connector, and they peek out together. Damage is done onto Gas, but once again it's the CT side to find the opening man.
That frag found to open up for Gas. He's taking damage though, so has Lan a little bit more so. One on the back of a haste cut. Smokes up the scores, part of things can't enter in towards the B site. They're still hunting for that pick back here for D13. If they can get that trade together, then that would be a beautiful way into the site. Boost up top of the sandbags for score. May look for someone. Sees one crossing. Sees Child King, but can't get a frag back. Martin takes face, so 5-on-3 situation, but nothing else being held here.
D13 are starting to fall apart now. They've got a couple of players low HP on the CT side, and Haska's been able to walk out through Monster. The score's taken a lot of damage. Now Shinobi's being tagged up, running low on the clock. There's still so many players out towards this B bomb side. Haska is going to find a response. 2 kills, not quite a third, and that bomb gets dropped. Still a 2 versus 2. They need to try and recover that bomb, pick it back up, but score's so low on 4 HP. Now into the 1 versus 1 and land to win it out. That got very, very close and down to the wire. Something that I really didn't expect, Jay, when Wings Up were in a 5-on-3 like that.
The thing if the bomb had not committed towards that short kill, or sorry, that water kill, I should say, and if it had been left there towards the site for someone else to plant, then maybe that could have been a very different scenario there for the T side. But again, the HP number dealt with coming into its own effect there for the T side. D13 back in with the pistols on this next gun round, this next eco round, I should say. Guns back in of the wings up side. Pistols out, they jump around the corner, they get that one pick back. DD and Lan can't clean house, at least Tamir gets another good frag to return. So D13, a couple rifles to work with, they have overwhelmed, done some decent damage, and on a half-buy round, that's a pretty decent setup for these guys. No scope in for Lan, point blank against Shinobi, sees the second, but Tamir gets another good kill. So again, 3 to drop or picked up. I think he saw Martin on the shoulder bay. Apparently not, actually looking towards the dumpster area, but has got potential for a bomb plant. And again, any more damage done towards the CT side is going to be a bonus here.
Yeah, that scope being seen, Martin, easy kill. But again, the ecos are doing mass damage. And for Wings Up, this is what, 4 rounds in a row now? 5 rounds in a row on their CT side. And it's still built up massively. You don't have the players on sort of like 6, 7k float. It is quite limited for the majority of the squad. Even Child King's now going down to about that 1600 mark. So D13, there is a really good chance that if they can convert a round victory here, Jay, an instant reset potential onto Wings Up. Score's really been stepping up over this the course of this map. 27 kills and 15 deaths. The spam coming into short water, and the AWP somehow completely evades the bullets.
That'll prove in to be positive because I think they've got no short control. Right now the spray comes in. Lan evades it to get that opening kill on Score once again. Wings Up are opening up these rounds with particular efficiency. And Heiska watching out for a little bit more here. Backed up. Nades down to hopefully catch them off guard for the moment. Nothing will be seen. CTs will aggress forward here with the mid part of things. The AK trying to spray around this corner, sees that one player in that corner, takes it back to a 4-on-4. Indeed, he's not going to get given the time of day to peek back in and get another trade frag. It's even standing for D13, leaning in towards the A side commitment, and then Famas finally gets a man advantage.
Oh, Heiska trying to round the corner. DD still doing work, Jay. He's not been traded.
What?
He makes it a 3k. Drops that bomb, and now Shinobi's the last one left. DD making another monster play for Wings Up, and Shinobi has to try and recover this round. This could be 10. This could be double digits now up for Wings Up.
Unreal. I cannot believe that. Taps up. Lan takes that final frag, but they gave 3 1v1s to DD there in the bathrooms.
Yeah.
And that basically
mollies
cost them
too.
the round. There was no reason to go for that kind of play there, and the T side are going to pay for it. 13-10. Wings Up are bringing this back in the second half.
D13 had so much util, and they knew that DD was there. They knew that he was in that position, and no util was used. They had HEs, they had incendiaries, they had flashes, and they used nothing. Just individual one-on-one peaks coming through. Missed incendiary out towards the TCOG control will at least allow D13 to try and go for an opening pick against this AWP of Lan. But I tell you what, Jay, maybe this first map of Overpass might be a little bit more of a contest than we expected.
Well, we did have it written off after that first half. Went so well for D13, and the pistol and conversion went for them as well. But everything after that has all been Wings Up. And I am shocked. I am a little bit surprised that this is how things have turned out here on round 24. Score gets that hero AK under the half by, dealt with immediately by Child King, but DD does fall in trade. So 4-on-4 situation. Child King swings out to an open monster area, get himself 3 picks total. P250 on the last fragger, Heiska. And now they're within 2 of the lead here. Rifles can come back in for most of the T-side players. Again, Score win for the hero AK, so we're going to have a bit of a problem here in the next buy-up. But even so, let's see what they have.
Oh, you've got to think for D13, like where's the tack pauses? Like they're really starting to lose control. The momentum slowed down massively. And the 7 rounds in a row that Wings Up have won, D13 have only managed to get a single bomb plant in, Jay. That really tells you that Wings Up have just really been shutting down these rounds and not even letting site executions come through. Fast play out towards Connector have forced away the CTs to try and take a little bit of control out towards Fountain and Party, but what was that shot from Child King? What?
This game has done up all sorts of weirdness today, Dwayne. I'm just gonna... I'm gonna put that down to Asian CS at this stage. The first kill on Shinobi already found there easy as that here for the CT opening. And rotations are going to get forced out by D13 initially. I mean, Annihilation is still taking face out towards the water control and lands there with the AWP, picking up Haste Cut and gets it down to 3 now for the D13 side. And, well, it looks like Wings Up are going to win win their 12th round. I mean, I don't even know what else to say from here. They're just kind of like just facing in, passive aggressive for D13, unable to find any advantages.
Yeah, look, and nothing's been given up to for Wings Up is that even the kills that they've got, they've just been so passive. They have not aggressed at all on the CT side, and it's really limited the amount of opportunities D13 have had to be able to find a response and turn into a 3-on-3. Leaning into the B site execution, Martin on to score, they've seen the bomb out to Monster. Oh, don't tell me not even a single kill is going to come through. What a fantastic round for Wings Up. D13, what is going on? They had an 11-4 half, they won the pistol, won the anti-eco conversion to be up 13-4. And now it's been 8 rounds in a row from Wings Up, and finally, the first tactical pause is going to be used from the Mongolians.
Taking a bit of time to get there, I'm not going to lie.
It has. That is true.
I'm surprised they didn't come out much earlier in this half. You know, again, I would have understood if they, you know, if this was like, you know, the early part of the second half and they were just starting to lose control. But like, they've been losing control for a while now. So this first tactical coming in now of all times is very, very weird. Again, for D13, the only weapon, the only rounds they've won so far has been the pistol and conversion round so far in this half. Like, that's been it. Everything else has been Wings Up. They've just got a massive streak of, like, what was it, 8 rounds in a row now? They were 13-4 down. Wings Up. Really bringing us back from the brink. D13 need to adjust against it. They'll put some much earlier utility coming out here towards the mid-defaults. Gas backed up with the M4, the edge of the smoke. Turns away at the right moment, but he sees Tamir. No, he doesn't see Tamir. He's going to let them get towards the bathrooms and mid-control.
How has that happened? Both players were looking at the same angle and somehow neither one saw each other. And now the kills are coming through. Bomb's been dropped. There's so much information. D13 are down to 3 players. Gas needs to focus his attention back towards the left-hand side. And he's going to spot out that bomb again, Jay. It gets dropped for a second time.
Again, D13 giving up the 1v1s. No utility in the bathrooms. No face against Gas going right. Now there's 2 AK saved in and 13 all. Wings Up are bringing this one back. And it just feels like D13 have had no confidence, no competence so far here on the T side.
Well, the thing was, for D13, they tried to change up the pace. They went really quick to get the early bathrooms control. And then they just pushed through a bathroom smoke with, like, no utility. And they just get caught off with Wings Up making a couple of aggressive plays from Gas. This is just falling apart completely, and Wings Up have the opportunity of trying to take a lead now, Jay.
Yeah, halfback coming in for D13. The Tech 9s have been relatively successful to do damage, but they haven't been able to convert any rounds with these half by eco rounds. It's backed up here to the short control. 2 players down, a Monster, the bomb on the back of Tamir. Molotov's at the ready to receive this, but no contact established here for the T's or CT sides. No players pushing in for Wings Up. And Martin backs up, sees 1, sees 3. Takes that bomb planted down. Annihilation can't overwhelm. Child King still here towards the ramp. He gets himself 1 frag, does burn live. DD there alongside Gas. All combines to crossfire the last couple of players. No bomb plant, no round. 14 to the board of Wings Up.
And honestly, if D13 maybe had like 2 or 3 more bomb plants in this second half, then I maybe would say, oh, you know, I'm not that disappointed because they've got the bomb down. You know, they've made the rounds close. These rounds have not been close, Jay. Like, they've not been close by any margin. 1 bomb plant in all of the rounds they've lost on this streak. 10 in a row now for Wings Up, and this is just ridiculous. This is just uncanny at this point.
But AK's in for Tamir, looks for contact on the B site play, be unable to receive anything. The CT's at the end of this. Martin swings and gets Tamir to drop. A nice opener from an M4. And the backstab from Land's going to come through. School's turned away, looking away at the wrong moment to set this up here. The AWP could line up so much. Flashes in, Martin. Charmed King still able to deal with the hit. Haste, last man standing, 1 on 4. CZ closing on the reload. Oh man, like this is map point for Wings Up.
I can't believe we're here. I actually cannot believe we're in this situation. Like, the brain cells are going wild at the moment, Jay. 15, 13 for Wings Up. Oh, how has this happened? And how have we only seen 2 tactical pauses from D13 now?
To put context behind this whole thing, by the way, like, I don't know if you're aware, we've been here on this first map for like 2 hours. Like, that's how big this comeback really is from Wings Up. Unbelievable. Absolutely unbelievable. I don't know what to say. I do not know what to say.
Like, you see it on Twitter, and you see it on social about, like, you know, the meme of, like, Asian CS and how the mistakes come through and things like that. But you don't really think you're going to see it firsthand. And this matchup, I've just seen it firsthand completely.
Well, 15-13. Match point for Wings Up here on this first map up. AKs, Galil's. CT side at the ready to receive this and deny anything remaining. Molotov standing by in a minute to the clock. I don't know where you go from here. D13 set up towards the B site lean. Not really exactly set up for the execution right now. 44 seconds to make that happen though.
This has to be a B-site XD. They've got no map control out towards A. They've got Score as a late lurk from Connector to maybe see if he can catch off Land on a rotation to the B bomb site. But this is going to be a hard hit execution. Resmo coming through, and Shinobi wants to push forward. And he's been seen on the edge of the gap, but he still finds the opening kill.
Trade back from Martin. Taps up for the headshot. CZ of Land comes in. Martin gets his 3K. And this map is over. From 13-4 to 13-16, Wings Up are going to win every round in a row after the pistol and conversions. Look at how much blue there is on this board. Like, what is this?
I tell you what, like, you can kind of look at the 2 sides of the argument, but for Wings Up, they didn't give up at all, Jay. They had AKs for so many rounds on that CT side. The rounds that they won as well had so many players staying alive. Like, the last, like, 6 or 7 rounds, it was like 3, 4, even 5 players staying alive at some points. And for D13, it just felt like they fell off a cliff, and there was just no recovery whatsoever.
I'm leaning definitely into the idea that that was just the choke of a lifetime from D13. Like,
Yeah.
12 rounds in a row for Wings Up to take this. Like,
With 1 bomb plant.
And the key thing, right, is that like this was a lot of mistakes made by D13. Again, look at those bathrooms challenges and how they just gave up the 1v1s to a lot of like the wings up defenders there. And it seems the case in all of the defaults as well. Just the 1v1 challenge that goes in, goes awry, wings up are therefore able to take a man advantage, usually 2 or 3 man advantages, and then from there they just win the whole round. And I just don't know, it just felt like D13 had no concept of the T side here.
Yeah, and look, one certain crucial element in this first map, Jay, was it felt like for both teams, they really struggled on the T side. They didn't really find a lot of success, but even for Wings Up, 4 rounds was enough, at least to be able to establish a comeback. And look, 12 rounds in a row, they're going into Vertigo now, D13's map pick. And I sort of looked at this at halftime as I was like, right, if this is a 2-0 for D13, they've already got the default for the first map, they're going to be able to win out Overpass, going into their own map pick of Vertigo. This could be such a simple series, but now, after seeing that, like, everything just changes in complexion.
Vertigo is a questionable pick for this team as well. We'll come back with more details after this short break, as though don't go anywhere. We're going to see whether they can try and recover from that embarrassment after this.
With the right CPU, you can turn any game from familiar to phenomenal. Unleash the potential in all your gaming with Intel 10th Gen processors. With its optimal balance of threads, cores, and frequency to deliver elite real-world performance, only Intel can bring Marvel's Avengers to life with in-game PC optimizations. Supercharge your Marvel's Avengers experience with Intel Core i5, i7, and i9 processors.
On Intel Extreme Master Certified PCs, you'll find a gold badge. It means you'll find brilliance inside. That you'll get high-grade components like Intel Core i7 and i9 processors that'll deliver the uncompromised performance you need to game like a pro. Not to mention, every purchase supports the prize pool of Intel Extreme Masters. Intel, unleash your brilliance.
My name is Trace Saranthus. I am building a PC for Jordan Gilbert.
My goal was really to get something that was no compromise, super powerful, and ideally not built by Trace.
Yes, thank you so much, Jordan Gilbert. We don't make mistakes around here. We made happy accidents.
I get a booster seat here. Enter now for a chance to win one of 3 PCs built by me, Jason, or Trace.
Look at me that way. It broke my heart to see. It's too hard, it don't come easy. I went dark, I lost it right away. And when it starts, God knows what I'll say. In my head, I had good reason. I went red so unexpectedly. I should have said that sometimes happens to me. Of darkness.
Your destiny, slay your enemy, raise a legacy. No more apologies, trust your abilities, gather the energies. Pull yourself back together and staying off track forever. Child of the nation, will seek redemption, time for salvation. Today is meant to be day of victory, time for history. Reverse the tendency, fight the entropy, channel your rivalry. You're praying for fortune to come, you're hearing the sound of the drums. It's too late to backtrack, but pack your bag now. Keep your feet on the road and stand up. You've got what it takes to fight back. Don't stop until you black out, out. Stand up, you've got what it takes to fight back. Don't stop until you black out. Give all you got, show them how to make a miracle. Stand up, you've got what it takes to fight back. Don't stop until you black out. Give all you got, show them how to make a miracle. Go save your team, be a hero. Take home the cup, be a star. They're waiting for you, take aim, shoot your arrow. It's your time to shine, show them who you are. Stronger, gotta go faster, gotta get better, gotta work harder. It's fight or flight now, get up now. Go with the move, go for the goal, lead up the stadium, you know how it's done. Stand up, go what it takes to fight back. Don't stop until you back out. Give all you got, show them how to make a miracle. Stand up, got what it takes to fight back. Don't stop until you back out. Give all you got, show them how to make a miracle. Stand up, you've got what it takes to fight back. Don't stop until you black out.